Hello, my name is Hemingway Jones. Today I'd like to discuss a very popular fountain pen that has some unique and interesting characteristics, including cats. Believe me, cats. Also, this fountain pen is made in China. Now, how much of it being made in China affects how this pen performs, its craftsmanship, how you perceive it, and how you interact with it as you write with it across the page. I think that's a worthy topic of discussion. So join me today, won't you, as I take a look at this paragon of export Chinese manufacturing, the Hongdian M2. One of the first most brilliant things about this fountain pen is it retails for around $20 on Amazon. So it's easy to get, it's very affordable. So what do you get for that price? Well, on first blush, this one is in dark forest, which is a very nice sort of moody dark green. Sometimes it's labeled as army green. I can see that has a bit of a military look to it. This fountain pen pairs well with Lockbee field journals, and it's a perfect fountain pen for your EDC needs, as I will discuss in this video. It's also made of anodized aluminum. Anodized aluminum is fantastic for corrosion resistance and scratch resistance, so it should hold up very well even with vigorous use. This pen will look new out of the box for longer, and it's also very tactile. It has that really nice finish under your fingers where you can appreciate it. Because anodized aluminum just loves to be held. It interacts brilliantly with your hand, feels a bit warmer than many other metals. It's far less slippery than polished chrome or palladium. And at 25 grams, it's quite a light pen, which is another checkbox for its EDC bona fides. It's also a fantastic travel pen at just 105 millimeters capped. It's easy to stow, easy to clip to your journal, easy to shove in a pocket. It's just easy to take along with you. It seals tightly with a screw cap, similar to other pens like a Kaweco Sport. And once posted, it's about 137 millimeters, which is really perfect. It goes beyond the perlicule of my hand. It sits very balanced, very nicely, ready to write. So in comparing this with the Kaweco Sport, the Hongdian M2 has one very obvious and very distinct advantage: this brilliant clip. This brilliant clip is marvelously crafted in a little ski jump of a curb, spring-loaded, snappy. It wraps around the top of the cap, it's embedded, well finished, the tolerances are tight and perfect. This makes it easy to clip to things, whatever you need to do. It opens very, very easily and holds on very well, which is important. When you're journaling and you need to move, if you're out in the field somewhere, you want to be able to clip it fast, pick it up, and move. I do appreciate the little ridge at the end of the grip to make sure that your fingers don't spill over onto the nib. Personally, I hold it a bit higher. I use the screw threads, which are not sharp underneath my hand, but they're there. I know they're there. They're very tactile, and my fingers rest comfortably there, giving me a bit of control as well. And if you were to unscrew this pen, you will find a converter already installed. This is a 3.4 millimeter converter, similar to other Chinese brands, and it also takes cartridges of a 3.4 millimeter bore. Now, let's talk about the nib. The nibs are interesting because it appears that Hongdian makes their own nibs, or at least are supplied nibs, unique to them. It's really difficult with Chinese companies to nail down exactly who owns what and where their sourcing is, but it does appear that you're getting for $20 an in-house nib, which is something I appreciate. And their choices are extra fine, fine, and medium, and the long blade, which I chose because I thought it would be a little different. And I'll tell you how it writes in just a few moments. But I want to point out that the nib on this is black. It looks green because I have dark lilac ink in here, which I think suits this pen brilliantly, as you'll see in a few moments. But it has turned the nib to an incredible metallic green, which makes me kind of wish it had a metallic green nib. And the same goes with the feed. This is a very lovely, well-crafted feed that gives you a very generous ink flow. The one thing about Chinese pens that you may have noticed is that they have very generous ink flows. And why is that? Well, you have to consider how the Chinese use their fountain pens. They pick up their nibs from the page far more frequently than Western writers do, even if you're printing. So the demands of writing Chinese characters in Hanzi is just different. You have to pick it up, you have to consider your line variation, your emphasis. It's a little different than how I write, for instance, in cursive, in a long ribbon of knotted letters that compose sentences, whereas in Chinese writing, it's much more deft, short strokes. And you need that ink ready, you need smoothness, you need your lines to be well defined. And so, as a Western writer, you appreciate all that generous flow. So just to make a generalization, as a writer of Hanzi, you'd probably slow down, be a little bit more intentional in how you form your letters, or characters more accurately. So one of the things that I find sort of challenging when I present Chinese pens is that they do not so much extol their brand. It's more the pens themselves. They are out there in the marketplace to speak for themselves. This one does so brilliantly. It performs amazingly well. But there's little I can say about Hongdian without doing an incredible deep dive, which is a bit beyond the scope of this channel. So if you strip away all that heritage and romance and everything else, what are you left with? You're left with the pen. And what a pen. An interesting travel pen that is distinct enough, certainly not trailblazing in its design, but functional. And where it really shines is in the nib. And I am very much appreciating this long blade. I'm not saying it's the easiest nib I have. In fact, it's a little difficult to use, and it's one of the things I like with it. I like to pick a fight with my pens sometimes. With this one, the angle determines the width of your line. A much more straight up and down angle gives you a much more faint line. As you lower it, it becomes wider. You feel like you're painting your letters. It's much, much wider. And you can see it in the shape of the long blade nib, which is very much like a wider architect nib. So this gives you quite a bit of character to your writing and to your lines. But how does it write then? Let's take a look together. Okay, let's have a look at this interesting nib, the long blade. You can see the crazy line variation you can get. It's also ridiculously smooth, but if I go very faint and a higher angle, you can see it gets quite wispy. But if I go side by side with the flat part of the nib, it's very wide indeed. So it does give you an interesting effect. as a writer, it's really smooth. And with the way the nib is with its different angles of attack, it does make you a little bit more intentional, more of a craftsman while you write. I guess the question is, do I recommend this fountain pen? And I do, enthusiastically. $20 for a pen that writes incredibly smooth, that has an interesting nib, that is easy to carry, that's great as a backup piece. You can clip it to anything and just have it there when you need it. It's been a joy. And a surprising joy. Haven't always had the best luck with Chinese brands. Sadly, Jin Hao and I just don't seem to get along. But this Hongdian M2, it's exquisite. It's as good as any other pen. It just is. Now, before I wrap up on this brilliant pen, I have to mention the finial and these incredible cats in this yin-yang interlocking white and black pattern that has a lot of depth and just really charming and interesting, that actually takes a somewhat sterile pen design and elevates it to give it a bit of warmth and character. I love cats. I appreciate this so much. So here's the question I'll leave you with. What if your next pen choice is simply a value proposition about how little you can spend to get so much pen? Once you strip away the history, the heritage, the glitzy marketing that many brands do, and you're simply left with a pen that performs well, that is expertly crafted, that writes amazingly, that has an in-house nib, all of this for $20 US, it's hard to argue against the Hongdian M2. But what do you think? Do you have this fountain pen? Do you see a spot where it could rest within your collection? Let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it. And if you've got to this point, please subscribe and recommend this to someone else who might appreciate this video. I'd appreciate that very much. So if you want to support the channel even more, there's membership as well, and Illuminati and Cognoscenti members have a pen pal group, so you can use your M2 to write a letter to people all around the world. I make new videos all the time, and I have a live show as well, so I can promise you we will see each other again very, very soon, further up the road. So take care, and thanks for watching.